Hi team, Ms. Vaughn here to talk to you about what you're going to be doing with the sub today. First, if we can look up here and we can use this as a reference, you're in the same seats that you were on Friday of last week. If you need a reminder of where you're seated, everything is listed here. Be sure to put your phone in the pocket when you come into class. So if you have not done that, maybe the sub should press pause on this video right now and you walk over and put your phone in the pocket. Okay, what you're going to be doing today is pretty simple. On this next slide, so we got instructions here, and then on the next slide is your kickoff for today. So this slide should be clearly displayed for you to read, and you're going to take about 10 minutes for you to read through this quote, and then for you to answer these 4 questions. So you've read one chapter of the book so far, and I want you to just begin to think about how reading a graphic novel. This is a graphic novel, so it's like another fancy way of saying like a comic book. How reading a graphic novel is different than reading something that is traditional literature. So when she references in this quote here, traditional literature, she's talking about books that you guys have read before, like When the Emperor Was Divine, thinking about like a full text that you read. Little Fires Everywhere is a piece of traditional literature. So I want you to think about how reading something that is so visually oriented, how it's different than traditional literature. There's one word in this quote that I also want to define for you guys. When something is second rate, that means that it's not as good as something that is rated number 1. So traditional literature, in terms of like English teacher talk or like literature talk, people will talk about how traditional literature, it's like ranked number 1, while something that is more visually oriented, like a graphic novel, is ranked number 2. So I want you to think about that, and then I'm going to ask you to respond to the question of whether or not you agree or disagree with what she is saying. And I'm going to say that she does not agree with what the traditional people think. She thinks that graphic novels are just as good as something and like as intellectually stimulating as something that is only written without visuals. Okay, so you're going to read through the quote. You're going to take a moment to think about it. You're going to answer the 4 questions. And then remember, you do not have to write the 4 questions in your journal. The only thing that you have to do is make sure that you clearly label the journal with the date. And it's August 20th. Okay, when you're done with your journal, you're going to be moving on to do 3 other things. Okay, first thing that you're going to do is you're going to read chapters 1 through 3. So I have this packet that I've created for you all. And moving forward, we are not going to be packet-based, but for the sake of today with the sub-plans, I wanted to just make note of all the things that if I were in front of you in class and I were reading with you, I would stop and talk about all of these different parts of the book. So I want you to do the same, and I want you to take notes in this packet. So you're going to turn this in when you're done. You should be able to finish it by the end of class. You're going to read through page 35 for your homework. Or 25 for your homework, excuse me. You're going to read through page 25. Sorry, you're not going to read through page 25 for your homework. You're going to read through page 25 in order to complete this packet. And you should be able to complete this by the time that you end class. This asks you to just more closely look at the images because it's going to be new for some of you to write about images because you have only written about traditional literature before. So I want you guys to just go through the practice of noticing what she's drawing, describing it really well, and then being able to analyze it. So you're gonna work your way through the packet for chapters 1 through 3, and then you're going to complete your notes handout. And so these have 2 different functions. So the packet is more about you stopping on the parts that I would stop with you if I were reading this in class with you today. I'm not here, so I can't do that. This is going to be your notes paper that you're going to be referencing when you write your essay, and then also maybe even way in the future when you get ready to do your IO. You can go back and you can reference your notes papers to figure out what chapter it is that you want to more deeply investigate or deeply analyze. So the notes you're going to be keeping throughout the whole book, you should keep them in a very safe place. I'm going to be checking the notes off when I come back into class on Friday. The only thing that I want you to turn in is I want you to turn in this completed packet. It should be quiet. Many of you made note on your letters to me that you thrive intellectually when you are able to read and think in a quiet environment that promotes your learning. So I really want to honor that here. Moving forward, we will be doing more group work. We'll be doing group conversations, much like what we did in class on Friday. But for today, I want you to be doing individual work. I appreciate your hard work so much. I appreciate how much those of you who wrote a letter to me, how much you shared, not only about yourself as individuals, but also about yourself as students in the classroom. And I just want to leave off by saying, I think that you have plenty of time to be able to finish this. Just move through it very slowly and try to stay present as you're working through this. And then also, if something is not crystal clear to you, make an educated guess, because what you have written so far in the letters you wrote me, what we've talked about in class, what you've talked about in your small groups that I've overheard, I feel like you're more than capable of being able to do this work. Okay, the last thing that I'll leave you with is that you need to be nice to the sub, you need to be nice to each other, and you need to be nice to yourself. And one way that you can be nice to yourself is starting the year off strong by doing your work. All right, email me if you have any questions, and I'll see you on Wednesday and Friday. Bye-bye.